Welcome back to Innovation Nation, folks. Today in Innovation Nation, in this episode, we're going to be talking about creating value through innovation, specifically talking about how you can combine ways that you do things to create unique new value without having to have all of the inventors in the world, simply by the way you do things. Earlier, I shared with you the idea of the golden circles, the what you do, the how you do, and the why you do. And at every one of those levels, you can create new levels of value. What you do is about technology. How you do is about how you execute and how you do things. And why is the core purpose of why you exist, why your role exists, why your company exists, what you're trying to accomplish. And so at every one of those levels, you can create new levels of value that can be exponentially better than the current or the old way of doing things. So inside of our industrial business, our innovator business, our purpose, our why is to create value through innovation. And how do we do that? Well, at a very high level, we inspect, we repair, we modify pressurized systems. Our focus is to create value through innovation, innovation in technology, innovation in delivery, and our goal is to improve our clients' safety, productivity, and cost effectiveness. That is why we exist, and our sweet spot for our business is right there in the middle. Now, your purpose and your outcomes might be different than what we shoot for. And so even in the same space, if our purpose is innovation to create value and our goal is to improve safety, productivity, and cost effectiveness, everything we do with innovation is focused on how it accomplishes those things. And none of that talks about whether we cut pipe or we tighten flanges. This is about the why and the how of our entire unique value. And so what I want you to think about from a value point of view is this idea of a value pyramid. The value pyramid are the different levels of value that you can create and that you can be looking for when you're buying. So the lowest form of value is the product or service. That's the value that widget or that 15 hours of someone's time gets you. And so the basis of the return on investment you get is simply time and effort. It's a time and effort, it's a product price comparison kind of value proposition. But it's really low value. It's deep down in the commodity zone, not just for you if you're selling, but it's equally simply a commodity of low value when you're buying. If you're buying based on the product and not higher levels of value, you're likely getting really low return on investment. The next level up in the value pyramid is your experience. Is this company that you're buying or selling to easy to work with? Do they create a feeling of ease? Do they give you a sense that you are being looked after? Are they on time? Are they well organized? Do they give you a feeling that you made the right decision, not just at the decision point, but throughout the entire experience of how they deliver that work, that product, that service? You know the difference when you order something online and the next day it shows up at your door and it's hassle-free versus having to go through 15 phone calls, drive into the city, walk up to an order desk for them to tell you it's not in stock. Those experiences, and we've experienced these kinds of changes in the last 10 years in terms of our economy, that the experience that you get through the cycle of buying what you're buying can be just as rewarding as the product itself. Sometimes we're all willing to even pay more just to have an easier, more effective experience. That's level 2 in value. Level 3 in the value is focused on results, outcomes. The value is measurable, and there is a certainty in outcome you're getting better cost effectiveness defined. You're getting very specific outputs on quality, on safety, on reporting, on cost, on safety outcomes, on quality outcomes, on delivery dates. It's a commitment to getting things done, not simply putting in time and effort. Level 3 value is the minimal level of value that you should be buying towards, and it is the minimal level of value that you should be selling towards. Now, the next level of value is transformational. The value is created by the insight and the new capabilities that are brought to your customer, changing the way that they do business forever. And so when you think about value creation and using innovation, either by buying in innovation or selling innovation, you should be thinking about these 4 levels of value and really evaluating how you're buying and how you're selling based on what level of value is most important in this particular situation. My advice is to always be searching and trying to achieve level 3 value as a minimum and level 4 value as the ideal goal to always be searching for. Now, transformation is an interesting thing because you can buy for transformation this year, and with the vast accelerating change that we're all going through from a technology standpoint, that transformation can be transformed again next year with a new, better way of doing things that can drive new levels of productivity, new levels of safety, new levels of cost effectiveness. And so reaching level 4 is not the end, but it is the beginning of a new kind of way of interacting between customers and buyers and sellers. So level 4 value forces you to think differently because you become a strategic partner. You become a trusted advisor because you are helping your customer's business transform from an old way of doing things to a new way of doing things. It's very entrepreneurial. In fact, it's much like that John Batiste Say definition of an entrepreneur. Transformation means you are taking things from a lower economic value and productivity to a higher level of productivity and value. That can take many different forms, but it does take innovation. So how do you create and capture level 4 value? Well, inside of our business, we have 3 high-level ways that when we combine them together, they create unique value. A collaborative experience, optimized execution, and transparency. Now, notice that none of that talks about what we do. This is about how we do things. These are our 3 uniques. Now, your 3 uniques inside of your business are likely different, and you should look to determine how that should be. If you are a customer of our business, this is why we are different at the highest level in our organization. Yes, we have innovation and technology, but our 3 uniques are about combining multiple kinds of innovation to create a new unique value for our clients that nobody else has. And so our first is a collaborative experience. The buying process is grounded in collaboration with your team, which means we will talk about how do we engage with your stakeholders in various departments to make sure that we are accomplishing the outcomes, the minimum level 3 value of what safety needs, what quality needs, what contracts needs, what the execution coordinators need. Everyone has some unique thing from an outcome standpoint. And so we want to make sure that from a collaborative point of view, that we are engaging with all of your key stakeholders in any project to make sure that that happens. Now, the way that we do that is we have a unique process. We ensure alignment on every job that's sold and executed on something that we call a project clarifier meeting and a risk conversation. Now, risk stands for, we're going to identify and eliminate the risks of each of your stakeholders. People in safety, people in contracts, people in quality all have different perceived and real risks in any project. A project can be executed extremely well, but if you have to take 3 months to get all the project control LEM straightened out, or the project can be executed perfectly, but if the quality paperwork is an absolute nightmare, then the project can fail. That is true of safety, inspection, quality, contracts. So it's really important to identify the risk for each stakeholder in any project, large or small. We want to capture improvements. This isn't your first rodeo, it's not our first rodeo, but it might be the first time we're working together. And we have learned some things from the last 10 times we've done a particular type of job, and so have you. And so on your projects, you may have identified certain things that you didn't like the last time somebody did work for you. We want to capture that. We want to understand what the improvements are that are going to take your project to the next level. So we need improvement ideas. The third element of a risk conversation is we want to leverage strengths. We want to understand who the strongest players are, what are the strongest parts of the project, what are the strongest resources, and how can we match up with those in terms of what we contribute to really magnify the strengths of the project. Where are the strengths that already exist in your team, in your facility, in the situation that can be leveraged to create unique value and to focus on? And then finally, for every single person on your team, we want to create and make a commitment to key outcomes. And those key outcomes are really what are going to be defining success in the project. And these are not platitudes. We're not talking about the standard on time, on budget, everyone's safe. Those are all important, but we actually want to get into the specifics. What does on time mean? What does on budget mean? Everyone's safe is guaranteed, but not, well, guaranteed to be important. But often we should all be going much deeper in terms of behaviors in safety that are going to be the key measurable. Certainly no one should ever be hurt. We've got almost 10 years of not hurting anyone. But the way we got there was not by focusing on not hurting people. It was actually on 8 contributing factors of behaviors in a logarithm that we'll share with you. That collaborative experience turns into a written and digital execution plan. But this is different because your team gets it. Our entire team gets it, and we're all involved in receiving and reviewing and commenting on the job plan before we go into the field, before we mobilize to start executing. In specialty services, and especially in specialty services, field technicians are the most important part of the plan. And so they need to be involved in everything. What equipment, what tasks, what equipment goes to what tasks, where are there special pieces of equipment that are for specific tasks, what are all the measurables, what matters to you as a customer is so important to us that every one of our people has to be involved in receiving, reviewing our written and digital execution plans in detail before they mobilize to the job. Part of that collaborative experience is a post-job review. Now, we do post-job reviews in 2 ways. We have something called an NPS, and we have another process that I'll share with you called the experience transformation process. Each of them are designed around getting all of the same stakeholders who told us what mattered in that project to evaluate us based on how we define success in our risk conversations, those key outcomes. Evaluate us based on how we did. And, certainly we want feedback on anything else that you can identify. But we really want to go into a project with a measurement of success. We want you to evaluate us very empirically and with engagement so that we can transform that experience with a practical way that we do ongoing and regular lessons learned that we give you transparency on. That's our collaborative experience approach that makes us unique. The next step and the next part of our business that make us unique and different from everyone else is what we call optimized execution. Inside of optimized execution, there are a number of things that we are doing that are very unique and different than anybody else. The first one is the value optimizer method and the turnaround optimizer process. These are proprietary processes that we have developed to make creating value for you, improve safety, improve cost effectiveness, improved productivity, repeatable, make them scalable. These processes are designed so that there is predictability in outcome every time we do work for you. And so the optimized execution process guarantees that we're always prepared, we're always proactive. We never allow ourselves to get into the react panic mode of found work and missing people and missing equipment that seems to be all too often what happens with specialized services. We're always seeking the best value to increase productivity and cost effectiveness. And one of the key ways that we do this is specialized services is different, significantly different from other kinds of industrial contracting, because the niche and the competency involved is so key that you cannot just hire someone with a three-day certification class to come out on top of their trade. Basically, all you're doing then is hiring glorified helpers. So what we do in the optimized execution phase of our business is we're seeking to have the fewest number of people on the project using something that we created called integrated competency crews. Integrated competency crews means that we are tracking the granular skills of all of our people in every segment, down to individual processes and individual pieces of equipment that they are competent on with a true competency tracking system. And we are matching up those competencies with tasks that line up with those skills so that we have lots of flexibility and the best people put in on every piece of work. This allows us to be proactive and be thinking about found work contingency, both for our team members, our craft, and also the assets in detail. Now, one of the key things of the optimized execution process and having this detailed plan, having transparency with our crews on what all the measurables are for success, having that level of transparency in the plan means that all of our team members who join in the execution phase of our work all have a project owner's mindset. We are looking to accomplish the same thing that you want because we are all aligned with outcomes. Every single member of our team has that same level of understanding of what success looks like in the project. And that's very different. Finally, transparency. Contracting today requires project controls. It requires insight. It requires information. It's not just about doing the work. And so over the last number of years, we have become leaders in contractor reporting inside of specialized services. We have a whole suite of automated standard reporting for all aspects of our work. And we also have custom reporting for larger projects. So if it's a small to mid-sized project, we will have standard daily, shift, weekly reports on cost, on safety, on productivity, and on progress that you will get automatically. And then on larger projects, we then go one step further and start changing and customizing the safety dashboards, the productivity dashboards, the costing dashboards for different stakeholders on your team. They will get different information that we uncover through the collaboration process, and they will get it at the right time. If your entire team on a turnaround has a 6 a.m. meeting, then the people who have that 6 a.m. meeting are going to have a very detailed dashboard of all of the transparency reporting from us, a half an hour, 2 hours, before that meeting so that they can go into that meeting armed with everything that they could need from us as a contract. Our work progress works with automation with something that we developed called job task digitization. Now, tools like Primavera work great for our clients, but they almost always lack the specificity of breaking down that tie point into the 6 or 8 different tasks that we might be involved in, from cold cutting and isolations and hydro testing and bolting and heat treatment. All of these tasks give us insight into how we match up the right assets to that task, to the schedule, and our integrated competency crews. So we break down those jobs into these subtasks using our job task digitization system. Now, safety, we are unmatched in safety, not just in results, but in our system. And so our system is a proactive automated system that captures insight on 8 areas of safety in real time. When I talk to my clients around the industry and they have 200 or 500 personnel in the field, they know that they should get 200 or 500 field level risk assessments or behavior observations. They know they have 8 crews and they should get 8 daily toolbox talks, but they don't. And it takes weeks to get some insight with a team of administrative people in safety to give you any insight into what's missing. Well, what we have done is we have digitized the entire system. Our people still use paper, but with the press of a button on an iPhone app or the input of an email address into a scanner, all of our safety data is instantly digitized using artificial intelligence and instantly available microseconds later. So we can tell you in real time what safety meetings happened, what inspections were performed, what did they find in those inspections, who was doing what types of focus audits, who was and was not participating in behavior-based observations, and what did they see? And then the impact on that is we can turn that into actionable coaching, where instead of our safety leaders and our supervisors having to chase paper, we're actually able to engage with our workforce, change the direction, give new assignments based on inspections quickly, give new assignments based on at-risk conditions or at-risk behaviors, provide new types of toolbox meetings based on what our teams are telling us in real time. We've done the same thing with productivity. Productivity reporting and tracking work-face wastes in something that we call an impact productivity observation. Very similar to a safety observation, except our teams are commenting on one of the 36 work-face wastes that have been recognized by the Construction Owners Association as the leading cause of loss of tool time, of loss of field level productivity. And so we are able to give you real-time insight into what are the trends with those work-face wastes, how many person hours have been lost on a daily basis, and very quickly trend that so that you can focus and we can focus together on eliminating those wastes so that we can get in front of the things that are going to be big productivity drains early in the project and not simply be able to explain them later, but actually be able to do something about them. Finally, Innovator Live is our real-time cost reporting system. The typical LEM, digitized, and then automatically priced according to our contract together and instantly sent to whoever needs it on your team. The person who signs it will automatically get a copy, and then from our reporting system, all of your contracts and project controls people can be sent this information instantly or in a dashboard or in a daily, bi-weekly report so that you have instant transparency of cost, instant transparency of productivity, instant transparency of safety, and instant transparency on work progress using job task digitization. This is a really unique part, and it brings together our three uniques in a way that most people, I would say, arguably no other specialty contractor have these three things that are innovations and combination of innovations that make a truly unique value for all of our clients. And so when you combine this idea of how we create level 4 value, transformative value, with collaboration, with optimized execution, and with extreme transparency, we are focusing everything we're doing on productivity, cost effectiveness, and safety, and always aspiring for level 4 value, and certainly always achieving level 3 value. And that's what makes us very, very unique here at Innovator. Next time on Innovation Nation, we're going to be talking about the innovation value creation process to create level 4 value. We talked about the how. Now we're going to dive into one of those methods, the value optimizer method. Until next time, folks, thank you for watching Innovation Nation, and I really appreciate all your comments and all your feedback. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll hear from you very, very soon.